Hello, this is Beth, and can we even get it to this quote this week just stood out for me. Without transparency, you can't have clarity. Annie Hammond. She's an artist, and if I remember, I will link her below. But she's part of Lifebook this year, and Ever After also. And it was in her Ever After class that she said this as she was glazing an apple, because this is about actual glazing an apple in a painting she was creating for her class. But at the same time, I thought to myself, holy shit, if you cannot be transparent with yourself, you're never going to have clarity. You're just going to always be like swimming around in a murky water, in a murky pond. Because you have to get true with yourself. You have to be transparent with you to get to your own clarity. No one else can do that except you. And it was one of those like, whoa moments for me. Not so much that I have this issue, but just that whole boom, yeah, clarity. You're transparent with yourself, and then you will have clarity. The more transparent you are with you, the more you allow you to know yourself, the more you can be clear on what you're doing and what you actually want to do in anything. And I think too that transparency also starts to transcend and morph into the whole self-love area of working with that concept, because if you're hiding aspects of you that you don't like and you kind of try to not see them, that's not transparent. And it makes it very hard to be clear when you're hiding bits of self from you. So this quote though just was one of those things that really, really, really moved me, even though this is about creating an apple by glazing with paints. And that the transparency of self to you yourself, brings you clarity. I'm not so, as far as this quote goes, it's not so much the transparency with everyone else that I'm concerned with, because as empath, you kind of need a little bit of armor. You need some defense so you're not absorbing everything. And I think people who are completely transparent to the world are few and far between that have that ability to do that kind of thing. And when you do, they're so far off into one field that, it's kind of unnatural. Is that where I want? I don't know. I can't think of, unnatural comes to mind. It's not normal, unnormal, not necessarily not natural. Extraordinary. Extraordinary would be a better word. I like that word better. Because unnatural kind of implies some kind of wrongness, and I'm not implying wrongness for the most part. Yeah, without transparency, you can't have clarity. And my little mind just went, it's like all of a sudden it's like this truth I already knew within myself now had words. And poor Annie Hammond has no idea that one line just kind of went click in my brain in a whole other way than art. And that's one thing I love about art, is you can have these moments that are completely about something else, but they get meaning over on this other part of you, and you're like, oh man. It's like that back door into understanding something that you really just needed to have words to express, and you didn't have them before. And it's like, because I do this, I try to be as transparent as I can with myself. And the more I've done that, the more clarity I have achieved. And then to all of a sudden get words to this process that I'm doing in such succinct and pithy words at that. They're summed up in this little sentence about glazing an apple. So yeah, without transparency, I can't say it anymore, you can't have clarity. Get clear with you. You get ordered to know what you really want to do, to get clear. Get to know yourself. and be truthful with yourself. Because we tell ourselves these stories. There's stories that we tell ourselves, and they're not always true. They're not always true at all. And why not start to delve into those? Get transparent with yourself. Figure out what those stories are, why you tell yourself that story. And if you want to keep telling yourself that story, because some of those stories kind of suck. Not all of them do, but there's a lot of them that are based in the not good enough kind of paradigm. Oh, I can't do that, not good enough, not smart enough, not this enough, not something. And that oftentimes is not being transparent with yourself. It's not being truthful with yourself. And there's many stories that people tell themselves. And I've told myself stories that are completely untrue. And as I've resolved and worked through those stories, I have become more transparent with myself and am able to realize more quickly when I'm falling into those behaviors and get clear. Thank you for listening, and I will be talking at you later. Everyone have a wonderful day.